right, fresh from the farm. I want to talk about animals a bit this morning. You may recall I mentioned that the dogs, Brecon Vale, livestock guardian dogs, have goats, chickens, stuff like that. And we have coyotes and raccoons. And, well, if I didn't have the dogs, then all the chickens would be dead. And that's happened to me a number of times. Before I got the dogs, a raccoon would get into the coop and kill the whole lot. So I got the dogs, and the dogs have been great. And the dog's job is to kill predators. And, you know, like they're livestock guardian dogs, that is legit their job. But yesterday morning, I sort of witnessed it happen right in front of me. I was like, oh, shit, not much I can do here. And I just had to watch them kind of, like, quite humanely kill a raccoon. Is it, you know, they didn't, like, maul it. They just shook it until it died. So I say kind of humanely. Could have been worse, I guess. And, you know, I know that's their job, but I thought about that little raccoon a lot yesterday. And it's true that it's really likely that, you know, that raccoon was on its way to try and kill some of my chickens, but I still wish it didn't have to die. You know, I just felt bad about it. I didn't feel at all upset with the dog. I just felt bad that the raccoon had to die. And so I'm genuinely a person who loves all animals. I hate to see an animal in distress. I hate to think about animals being killed. And the reason that I'm telling you all this, because you're thinking, why the fuck is this relevant to eating disorder recovery? Is because it kind of is. Because morally and, like, intellectually, I guess, this part of my brain, the thinking part of my brain, is vegetarian. This part of my brain is like, I love animals, hate to think of the animals being killed. This logical part of my brain would be vegetarian. But, and here's the but, all of this is not vegetarian. And that is something that in recovery, and I had to come to terms with, is that I don't like the thought of killing and eating animals. However many hundreds of thousands of years that went into the genetics and the wisdom and the biology that is my body likes to eat animals, and my body does really, really well off eating animals and saturated fat, and that comes with that. And so I do eat meat. And I know that a lot of people in recovery, so this is kind of like a dilemma between the higher brain, that's the bit that makes us different from animals, the bit that makes us human. I very much doubt that Brecon Vale had any qualms about the fact that they killed a raccoon yesterday morning. I really doubt it entered their head. Whereas me, on the other hand, I'm like, a bit sad all day, you know? So that's what makes us human, our ability to have all of these different intellectual discussions with ourselves and thoughts and be creative and do things. But we are also mammals, and that I think is a huge human dilemma. It's like, we're not so different from other animals. I'm not so different from that raccoon that wanted to get in and kill chickens so it could eat chicken meat. Like, the raccoon needed to do that because that's what raccoons need to eat. And I do believe that humans are omnivores, and we have developed to be omnivores. And I do think it differs from person to person as to the degree of how much meat we need to eat. And I know that a lot of people eat, you know, too much meat, and that's bad for the environment and all of those things. I don't want to get into an environmental discussion or anything along those lines, but most of us are designed to have some meat in our diet. How much is completely up to that individual body. So let's not judge how much or too little anybody's meat consumption actually is. But I know that my body needs and enjoys to have some meat. There is nothing I like more than eating a burger. This part of my brain is like, poor cows. And this kind of like survival brainstem area in the rest of my body is like, oh, thank God, I love it. So, and that's okay. We don't have to solve that problem. That's okay. I can eat meat and still love animals. And that can still be something that perplexes me a little bit, but I'm not going to dwell on it too much because I've come to peace with that I am an omnivore and I will eat meat. And my body needs me to eat meat, and my body thrives and does better when there is meat and animal products in my diet. I'm totally at peace with that. That doesn't mean that I'm going out and saying, kill all the animals. You know, and it's not what it's like. You know, humans have the ability, we can have this duality. There can be more than one thing going on at once. And sometimes, and a lot of the time, the conflict arises because our mammal bodies want some one thing, and then our big intellectual brains and our morals and our values and all these things come in and disagree with what our mammal bodies want. But as intellectual as we all are, we are still here in mammal bodies, and we have to listen to, respect our bodies. And I mean respect with a capital R. What's that word? R-E-S-P-E-C-T. That one. That sort of respect is what I mean. I do not tell my body it is bad for you to eat meat, because what actually the fuck would that be? My body is a mammal. My body knows what it needs to do to survive. My body's trying to do what it needs to survive. It is not my job to judge that. Anyway, that's what I want to talk about. I don't have very long left because I've just rattled on forever. But, all right. Okay. So Maya says, hi, Taz. My parents don't want me to go cold turkey and exercise because they think it's too important. What can I do about this? Well, whoever listens to their parents, Maya, honestly. Like, usually if your parents tell you to do or do not do something, you do the opposite. So I don't see why this situation would be any different. Seriously, though, just explain to them, you know, what you need to do in your, like, honestly, just want to sort of like bang my head against the wall a little bit and tell them, but try and explain to them calmly and cordially, because I know it's probably a really big deal for you to be like, I want to go cold turkey and exercise. Like, that's the hard work, and now people are giving you resistance to it. It seems entirely inappropriate, but let's just explain to the parents why this is important, that you go cold turkey and exercise. And after all, it is your body, so hopefully they will listen to you. Okay. So Lily says, hey, question, is it normal that I don't feel motivated to recover? My thoughts are all over the place. I feel like I'm eating for others. It's entirely normal. And it's less that you don't feel motivated to recover and more that your fear outstrips your motivation. If you didn't feel motivated to recover, Lily, you would not be watching this channel. I don't know, you'd be watching something else, like that tiger thing that everyone's going on about it. There's like loads of other stuff you could watch. So if you had zero interest in recovery, you would not be watching this channel. So I know that there's some motivation there for you to recover. The fact that you're even perplexed about this means that there's some motivation in there for you to recover. But what happens with most people is the motivation is like saying the motivation level is here and the fear level is here. The fear outstrips the motivation. And when the fear outstrips the motivation, that results in inaction. We don't take the steps that we feel that we need to be taking. And then we get frustrated with ourselves. We're like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Why can't I just do recovery? I'm such an idiot. Again, the reason that you can't do recovery, you're such an idiot, it's not that you're an idiot, it's that you're afraid. So what you need to tackle and what you need to mentally get your head around is, I will have to go right into this fear. The fear is not going to go anywhere. I have to go right into the fear. And recovery for me means that the fear will be there alongside me. And I'm going to do it anyway, even when I really don't want to. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to go.